this in 2018, 2017.
Let me see. Wait, let me see. Oh shit! How long did it take you?
I added you. Let me
This
show
took
you.
4 months.
Who the fuck added me, bro?
It's
How
here.
much Roblox free to build me a whole like real estate detail like Roblox freaking.
Yo, that's the what's up, bro? Game. I don't know. Just to build it's free, probably 10K USD. Oh fuck.
What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing?
So can I pay before or after?
How are you guys doing?
75%.
Thank you, Andrew Russell, for subscribing. So we do have an interesting aspect where if you subscribe or if you donate, you can send a text-to-speech donation, and it'll show up on the stream. And your donations go a long way to support this work, to express solidarity, and just show your support. We take large donations and small donations and anything in between. So please feel welcome to donate and to give and to become more informed about building community through generosity, through self-sacrifice, etc. Oh, everything's in sync. Everything's okay. Everything's just fine. I can hear you just fine. Inconsiderate of what? When you bring something real to the table, when you actually bring yourself to the table in some way, then I'll respond to you. You don't have anything that you want to talk about. You don't have anything that you want to share. All right, I'm going to send you an invite. I'm going to send you an invite to join a stream. I'm going to send you an invite to join a stream, and then we can really stream together. We can refresh, we can reorient, and we can focus on having a discussion with each other as young men, as people on the path, and we can do it in a smart way. Okay? Does that make sense? I don't think Sadhguru would care if you lived or died, frankly. Shiva has made he's made a lot of money in this first week or so of July. I'll tell you that. You can create whatever dynamic you want to make, man. It's up to you. I'm not basing anything in my life on your ideas or your thoughts or anything like that. I'm open to what you think. I'm open to what you have to say, but it's not something that's a priority for me because you're taking your sadhana and your practice very seriously during these times. When's the last time you practiced Shiva Mahamudri? Yeah. Mahamudri, the initiation practice that Sadhguru teaches. Oh, you're a funny guy. Yeah, I know about as much as Isha as you do, frankly. I mean, it just be if what I think it would help you if you're just more honest about the fact that you're not following Sadhguru, you're not practicing in terms of Isha, you're not doing what he says to do, what someone in your position is supposed to do, and that's fine for you. And you don't need to justify it, you don't need to defend it, you don't need to defend yourself to me or whatever. That's fine. You just said that you don't practice Shiva Mudri or whatever it is, the meditation that Sadhguru prescribes. Now I'm sounding like a fool. But you said that you don't practice that, right? You said that you're not practicing that. So the results were gained. And if you didn't meet me, you'd think you were some kind of enlightened. How did you justify your whole experience when you were in like, when you were in that place with those people? Like, how were you justifying? Like, how were you talking to yourself that you were like, you're really enlightened and that kind of stuff? Like, how did that all work? Do you honestly think that you're better than other people here in some capacity? No, you think you're special. That's your problem. Especially you.
What the fuck is that? Did you go to a rave, my
I think that everybody here has a right to know nothing. Everyone here has a right to know nothing. Everyone here has a right to own nothing. And yes, that includes Shiva, man himself. So his fixation on knowing is just something that's not in line with enlightenment. You don't have spiritual people following you. I don't think you have a single person. I don't know a single person in your community. I don't know a single spiritual person in your community. I don't know a single spiritually minded person in your community that follows you or that looks at you as a spiritual teacher. And that's exactly why you don't have a relationship with Sadhguru, because you have an entirely materialist perspective and point of view about reality. You're not a spiritual person. You just look at the physical world. You just look at all those little things that you've taken pictures of and put up on your wall. It's all fake. It's all a game for you. We live in a material world, and I am a material. Shiva is the poster child for spiritual materialism. How about we write that one down? Shiva Kailash Shambho is the poster guy for spiritual materialism. Literally the poster child for spiritual materialism in the modern era. A man whose mom's spare bedroom could be turned overnight into a Isha gift shop, an Isha branch gift shop, and he happens to live in there. He happens to live in his mother's spare bedroom. This Shiva Kailash Shambho guy does. So this is what I do. This is a part of my work. I target these spiritual predators, these fake spiritual teachers. The thing with Shiva that makes him innocent is that he knows deep down that he's not a spiritual teacher. He doesn't know what he's doing. He just wants money. That's why he's always honest with me. He's always honest with me, and he always tells me that, like, when we're talking off stream, he says, I want more money, I want more viewers, I want all this kind of stuff, period. That's all this guy wants. That's all this guy is focused on. That's his whole thing. It's his whole deal. So as much as he's honest about that, and that's what how people relate to him, then, you know, free love, man. Who am I to put a stone in your ass? You know, if that's what you want to do, then do it. But it is my job and it is my responsibility to let people know. And maybe this is another good thing about Shiva. He doesn't care if any like spiritual seekers or spiritual people are involved with him or involved with his community. Just like the only reason he values me as a spiritual friend is because I provide content for his grift. That's the primary reason that he latched on to me, and now he's like, we say like he's really my friend or whatever. But that was his primary reason for latching on to me, is that I was content, that I seemed to be making money with what I was doing. And that's what he wanted to do. Well, that's why I don't live stream so much with you, man. Because I have a low tolerance for this shit. Especially when you're constantly appealing to like the lowest common denominator and like, bumping them with your elbow. And just be more transparent, just be more honest, and you won't have to, I won't have to spend my time live stream with you more when literally the only thing that you want to do is grift and appeal to the scum of the earth and say, hey, don't you agree with my side more? Don't you kind of align with me more than that guy? Why is it great? Why is it great if random people like you or agree with you? Why is that great? Or subscribe to you? What? It's a good way for you to make money. Fantastic. It's a good way for you to make money. And just FYI, for all the people that are trying to chime in like they have a seat at the table, you've never been to a meditation retreat. You don't take spirituality seriously. You don't follow any Dharma teachers. And in that case, you're in good company. You're here with Shiva Kailash Shambho. But I don't take credence from people like that. I don't give people like that a seat at the table just because they might like me or they might agree with me or whatever. I don't care. The best success that I could have in my life is the peacefulness in my mind, the bliss in my mind, the freedom in my mind, the equanimity in my mind, the capacity and ability to help others and to transmit this realization to other people. That's the highest value in my life, not how much money I'm making on YouTube this month. And just FYI, if you didn't know, Shiva, the reason you're so fixated on making money is because you have a poverty mentality and you consider yourself poor. And, maybe not to everybody here, but certainly compared to a lot of people, you would be poor. So Shiva can make upwards of 2,000 US dollars a month. Shiva's making upwards of 2,000 US dollars a month on his YouTube channel. And he wants to keep doing that. And so this is a job for him and a grift for him. And that's why I've been stepping away. That's why I haven't been live streaming so much with him anymore, because I'm not interested in spending time around that. That's not what I'm doing. Is you getting fucked in the ass contradictory to making money? Is you getting fucked in the ass for money contradictory to making money? No. You getting fucked in the ass for money is not contradictory to money. So why don't you go and do that? You're just trying to justify your grift, to justify your lack of sincerity, to justify your lack of seriousness, and to avoid responsibility for what you're doing here. You're literally a scam artist, and you're literally becoming more and more of a scam artist day by day. 100% deflection. Right, D8OH8, a high. 100% deflection. Yeah, being a Dharma teacher, being a spiritual teacher, sharing sadhana, practicing sadhana, if it's about making money, is contradictory to sadhana. Selfishness is contradictory to selflessness. Craving and clinging and seeking material profit is at the opposite end of what Sadhguru teaches, and it's exactly why you don't practice sadhana and you don't value going deeper in your spiritual path. And this is also the other aspect of why I'm not doing live streams with you, because I'm not going to platform your position. Like, if the best thing that you can do when you're put onto your heels is to give these totally shallow, vapid positions that are totally anti-spirituality and anti-generosity and just this spiritual materialism, I'm not going to platform that. I'm not interested in creating like an energy and a potency here, which you're entirely lacking. You have no potency in what you do at all. And I'm not going to bring my potency here to platform those ridiculous viewpoints that you hold. Like women's value is in their sexual purity and stuff. I'm not going to platform that. And I'm not that interested in playing video games. I'm not that interested in just hanging out with people, even if I like you, even if you're a nice guy. And it sucks for me because I'm not able to spend time with you, somebody that I, don't dislike, because you just don't want to have a real conversation. You don't want to be wrong. You're not willing to accept that you're wrong about a lot of things and that you need a lot more help and that what you're doing right now is contradictory to spirituality. And you can see that in all your videos. You can see that in your hyper micro celebrity, egocentric videos where you talk about what you eat and how you position yourself as like this special dude just because people are watching you. You're not special, man. You're certainly not spiritually special. That's for sure. So if you're going to send a super chat, I recommend you send the super chat on the main live stream because that's how it's going to get turned into a text to speech. So this is just the vertical live stream. If you send it on the horizontal live stream, it'll become a text to speech message and it'll be read out for everybody. It's fine. If you like getting donations, that's fine. I like getting money too, but it can't be your operating principle of sharing the Dharma or representing yourself as a spiritual person. That's ridiculous. It's like if Sadhguru was teaching sadhana based on him getting money from people. You're polluted. Your view and your approach and your perspective and your intentions are polluted with your hunger for profit and status and fame and praise. And you're constantly expressing that. When you appeal to people and you try to nudge people in the shoulder that have nothing to do with spirituality, don't even respect your moral values of veganism, and yet you're for some reason trying to say, hey, but don't you guys not agree with that guy? Don't you guys not like that guy? What the fuck is that? I don't want to have anything to do with that. Well, I don't think you can answer because of how unstable you are and how compulsively you're always avoiding. And the AI models have even talked to you about that. When they're not your little sycophantic fake version of somebody giving you information, they say that you're constantly you have this avoidant personality disorder. Just like you avoid taking responsibility, you avoid taking responsibility for the situation with Isha Foundation. You avoid taking responsibility for your lack of a relationship with Sadhguru, with Isha. That's not who you are. Maybe at one point you thought that it was, but it's not anymore. And now you should rework yourself. You should relook at yourself. You should re-examine yourself, man. You should start fresh. And what's not going to help you to start fresh is literally just pursuing money making. It's going to make you become less and less of a person that anyone with a single spiritual bone in their body wants to be around. And I don't know why you say this hyper materialistic thing. Well, I don't know, just like you, I don't know anybody that's here. Yeah, you can get to know people, just like people can become disciples of Sadhguru by listening to his Dharma talks. And Sadhguru explicitly says that there's a particular time in the day when if you're open and receptive enough, you can receive him, you can meet him, you can connect with him. And at this point, I can't even tell like if you're being serious or you think that you're doing like a real thing, or if you're just playing into this reality show game that you think that this money making process and this entertainment process is somehow more essentially integral than the path and waking up and realization and principles and practices that end suffering and release suffering. You know, Seraph, no, I don't know what's happened to him recently, but he's like going backwards, like totally not receptive, not open, and like playing into the. I don't know if he's depressed or if he has an alcohol thing or an addiction thing going on, but clearly Seraph is going through something and is like gone backwards. You don't give a fuck. And like you said, you don't even, nobody knows who Seraph is. You don't know him. I don't know him. Well, I would like to get to know him. I thought that I knew him a little bit, but he's clearly gone back to like anger. Maybe it's something with like Israeli anger with what's going on currently. I don't know what his deal is, but clearly he's gone back in a certain way because his energy is totally. And aren't you supposed to be the fucking energy guy? So on one hand, you're saying, just like you, Rob, nobody knows anybody here. And on the other hand, aren't you supposed to be this fucking perceptive, energetically aware, even psychic fucking dude that can change people's chakras and read their minds? But somehow you don't know anybody here? So if you tell me, can you tell me honestly that it's clearly Seraph is not going through something and is acting in a way that's a lot more shallowified than how he was presenting before? So you take. I shouldn't even ask you because I don't trust your fucking opinion. I don't trust your discernment. I don't trust your honesty. Here we go. Listen, everybody.
Ask him how much to take a fart spray to the face while eating world's hottest chip.
But the point that I'm trying to make now is that even that is like draining out. Like his Isha gift shop energy is draining out. Right? And so at this point, he's just like trying to constantly convince himself that he's like this micro celebrity guy or whatever. And then he's constantly looking into the comments for some swamp person to say, Rob, what are you talking about? We're on the internet. Yeah, that's right, swamp person. Rob, we're on the internet. So if I was talking with Aditya about this today. I said, I like Shiva, I like Livestream, and I like collaborating with him. But when it's like, I can't go back and forth with him, I can't trust him to be genuine because he's trying to focus on this grift for money. How do I work with that? How am I supposed to practice with that? Because it would be like, okay, let's say that I'm in my Dharma seat, right? So I'm sitting in my Dharma hall, I'm giving a teaching, whatever. Okay, it's just me. I can be a little bit playful. I can be a little bit wild. I can do what I want to do, right? But if I'm on my Dharma seat and I'm platforming, and you see, he just walks away, and I'm platforming another guy, I'm platforming another person on that seat, and that person is intentionally being disingenuous to grift for money, how the fuck am I supposed to sit there and do that as somebody who really values the Dharma and really values this opportunity to reach people and engage people and invite people, to where his mindset has turned around to the point where he's not even being genuine. He's literally choosing, instead to be genuine, to appeal to some lowest common denominator of swamp people or random people that have nothing to do with spirituality that he thinks are more likely to give him money because he's on the other side of Rob, right? Oh, if we give Shiva money, Rob's not going to like that. The main channel is this channel. So if you go on your YouTube app and type in Monk Life Meditation, go to that channel and you'll see there's a horizontal live stream there. And that's actually a 4K camera, very high quality audio. And that's where if you send a super chat or send a donation on Streamlabs, it'll show up as a text to speech. I'm not saying I don't like money. I'm not saying I don't like getting donations. Of course I do. It's very nice. right? It's enjoyable, it's pleasant, it's rewarding, it feels good. But that's not why I do this stuff. That's not my main focus on what I do. Right? So Seraph, maybe you take some advice and also go to the main channel. You should know this and do it there. So it's be a text to speech. But listen, man, I want you to be clear about this, and I want to explore this. When I talk to you, or when Shiva talks to you, even reaches out and says, "Hey, Seraph, you're donating through iPhone, and because you donate a good amount, right? Like 50% of that is going to just random companies. So can you use Streamlabs?" And you just totally ignore that. You don't respond. You're missing out on this opportunity to actually open up a connection and communicate and get to know one another. Tara Schmidt, who's a very long-time Buddhist practitioner. And this is real stuff. I don't know why Shiva says, like, this is all fake, this is all bullshit. Like, I'm just going to keep living at my mom. I'm not coming at you, but living at my mom's, and I'm going to make money online. Like, I don't want anything to do with that, dude. So Tara Schmidt says, I know Tara, she said monks live at her house, etc. She says, I've lived in a world-famous Sangha for 16 years around famous Western teachers, and I think he's a genius. Dr. Rob is for the boys. That can also feel good. That can also feel nice, too. You have well-minded people that like you and support you, whatever. But that's not the point. It's called the 8 worldly winds, Shiva, and this is a very important fundamental dharma for you to consider and to understand. Okay, and I care about you. It's not an ego game. Yeah, ego games come up because we're not arahats, right? So these things come up when we deal with them. So it's these 4 elements that the ego thrives and exists on, right? The self-centered ego. Gain and loss, pleasure and pain, praise and blame, fame and disgrace. So what I see, Shiva, is that you are in a state of compulsive addiction and seeking for profit over loss, praise over blame, fame over disgrace, pleasure over pain. And that's not the path. It's a trap. It's attachment. It's seeking. And, sometimes you lean on how Sadhguru approaches things, how Sadhguru talks about things. That's fine. That's great. But you don't have that kind of relationship with Sadhguru or Isha or his community, man. You don't. I wish you did.
Over that ball. I also told him he's not a real contributor to society.
Okay, so that's fine. But I'm not going to take on that guy's identity and energy and say, yeah, that's right, Shiva, ha, ha, ha. Can't you hear what the people are saying? Because I don't know who that person is. I don't know if their view or their perspective is deep and meaningful. But when you're constantly looking to people in the chat that agree with you, you don't know who they are, and you probably do know in some sense they don't have anything to do with spiritual practice or community or teachers.
And why you're saying this is because they disagree with you, and you don't like that. So you're just as much as lost in the worldly winds because you get butthurt.
Through Super Chat. Doc, I'll move to Streamlabs, but you got to chill with the Jewish comments. Star of David emoji.
All right. First of all, for our donor, Seraph, of course I'm not racist against anybody because my practice is not to discriminate, even not to differentiate. It's just a pluck. It's just a point. It's just an invitation, man. It's just reaching out to you. It's just challenging you a little bit. Of course, I don't have ideas. Shiva is literally like a conspiracy dude about Jewish people. And going back to what he just said, like, Shiva, if that is really all the juice that you have, you need to find a way to find some fruit. You need to do something about that, man. Those people just don't agree with you. You don't like those people because they don't agree with you. I just lined out why I don't agree. I'm not interested in what they have to say. They don't have sadhana. They've never practiced. They're not interested in dharma. They don't listen to dharma teachers. They have zero to do with spirituality. So why did you go to Isha? Why did you visit monasteries? Why do you have pictures of Sadhguru around your room? Because you're orienting yourself towards the Sangha or the community of spiritual practice. It has nothing to do with they agree with me or not. They don't have the seat at the table because they're not practitioners and they don't care about this stuff. Nor do they care about fucking veganism or any of the shit that you talk about. They're just here because there's some emotional reactivity where they feel like they can be involved with the drama. Fuck that shit. I don't give a fuck about any of that. And the fact that you're trying to appeal to them, and the fact that you want to use me, you want to use my presence, and you want to use my time to appeal to those people, so in this parasocial way, they'll donate to you to get to me, you know, that element is there. It's just nonsense. There's no point in that. There's no value in that. Now, yeah, sometimes I'm acting wild, I'm acting crazy. At least it's fucking deep, rich, challenging, crazy, wild content that makes people think or makes people say, what the fuck? Not sitting there and pretending like I'm a micro celebrity just because you're a little bit more peaceful and relaxed than your average person. And you know how to use different kind of mental techniques to get people involved.
Tyler built 3,480 donated $4.99 through Super Chat. There are many people that aren't tied to spirituality. You've got to judge people only after observing them for a while. Some are moral pro.
So please, guys, do, if you can, use Streamlabs because YouTube is taking all the people that donated those TTS. The YouTube is literally taking 50%. So unless you want to pay YouTube that money, you know, it go to the creator if you send it through Streamlabs. But anyways, you want to send it is fine. I'm trying to have a deep, meaningful conversation with you, Shiva, but it always seems to go to this point of avoidance. It always seems to go to this point of avoidance for you.
At me. You are talking towards me. You're not genuinely inquiring about anything. You don't care what I have to say. You have. Hey, I have an answer. Would you like to hear it? No, I don't care. You're disingenuous. You're a retard.
Well, Shiva, I hate to tell you, man, but you're better off not answering. Because every time that you answer like a deep challenge and a pointed analysis of what you're doing, you expose yourself as being like viscerally vapid and empty-headed when it comes to any depth in relationship with your mind.
I have a relationship with my mind, and it's very nice and calm and peaceful. I have no problems in my life. External problems arise, but mental problems are self-created. Dr. Rob makes a big deal about everything. He is insecure. He's still progressing on the spiritual path and wants to shove his thoughts down my face.
And that's precisely the issue, man. That a negative point, that something that would go along with negative points, is you saying he's still progressing on the spiritual path. And remember, one of your biggest problems that primarily Dr. Rob stepped in and solved is that you thought you were an arahat. You thought you were a fully enlightened being.
Tyler built 3,000.
You didn't solve that.
Donated $1.99
And I don't know what I have.
People always
But-
understand.
Okay, so let me ask you a question then. When did you go from 2 years ago making a video claiming to be fully, totally, completely enlightened to definitely not thinking that anymore? Can you talk to us about that process?
Yeah, again. Well, so it doesn't ever complete a big, powerful, mystical, spiritual experience. And at that point, I thought, wow, this is it, man. I've reached the goal. And as the time went on, I realized, okay, well, some pain has left my body or left my mind, but I'm just a normal guy. Does that mean I'm enlightened? I don't know. Maybe if the Buddha was alive, I'd go ask him. But finding enlightenment in this day and age is very silly. So,
Okay, this can't be real, right? this cannot be real, right? Like this cannot, like I'm hallucinating this, or there's some gear in my mind that's not fully linked up, right? Like this can't be his response to what I just asked him. Shiva, 2 years ago, after years of you being on the path, looking into Buddhism, even visiting monasteries, being involved in spirituality, you made a video on your YouTube channel where you said, I am an arahat. The work that is to be done has been done. When I started to show people that video, you unlisted that video. You hid it from the public view, right? So I'm asking you, you didn't answer the question that I brought up at all. I'm asking you, when did you go from thinking that you were an arahat, where you had finished the path, where you had done the work that was to be done, and you were fully, totally enlightened? You said, I realized Nibbana, I'm an arahat. When did you go from that to realizing that you're definitely not an arahat?
To answer your question, it was not a one fixed day that one day I realized, oh, you know, I'm not like, it was a gradual thing. As the experience wore off, I realized, oh, okay, I'm just still a regular guy here. And I don't even know what enlightenment is. But definitely some things were let go of. And I'm very happy about that. So let me know if that's satisfactory.
It's satisfactory compared to your first answer. But the message that I'm trying to share as well, people who don't even know what an arahat means or what that term is, then LARPing themselves into being spiritual seekers when they're not, LARPing themselves into having an understanding or an interest in spirituality or enlightenment when they don't, and then taking up this fake parasocial position on something they have nothing to do with and no knowledge about, and saying, this just doesn't seem right. Well, what doesn't seem right is that you have no idea nor any interest about what's being talked about here and no experience with it, and yet somehow you're creating this self-fixated justification for why your opinion is relevant about things that you have no interest in and know nothing about. So explain that to me. These people. I'm talking to the people in the comments, man.
So if you're in the comments, please send a super chat. That's how you participate in the conversation. Send a super chat word. Number 13. We need to be the 14th one. Who's going to be the 14th super chat? It's read via text to speech. We'd love to see it. And don't send it on Apple. So, this whole spiritual journey and why you're here watching and why I'm here as well is to end what? Is to end suffering.
No,
Whatever that means for you.
I don't want you to now take on the position of being the spiritual teacher, right? I want you to now take on the position of stepping back, listening more deeply, and having a conversation of what we've been talking about.
Okay, so let's Shiva talk for 1 second, please, Rob. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I got. Sorry about that. Yeah, let's continue talking about what we were talking about. Please mute yourself. What can I continue on? Yeah, people make all kinds of ideas and conclusions based on their own experience, based on what they think. People will have the desire to be significant, and ideas are made up about themselves. Like you, perfect example. You're a doctor, right? What are you a doctor of? I'm very curious. You made up this personality, this identity, and hopefully you made it consciously. Just like I'm consciously shaping my life. It's a very conscious thing. Why I have Zuckerberg's photo behind me. So whatever you think that I need to go get a clean slate, you go get a clean slate. Get a colonic. That's my professional advice to you. Okay? Listen, and do not talk over super chats. I swear to God.
At only priced 96 donated $1.99. You both play with your souls. Jesus Christ is God.
That maybe was the most useless comment that there was. Thank you for that. Only Christ. So, look, man, I get it. You're a very sensitive guy. I get it. If I start talking back, you're gonna leave. You're gonna rage quit. Well, I'm not doing that. The fact of the matter is, why can't you just continue this live stream forward? Take a specific length of time, 2 hours, 3 hours, and sit in the energy of discomfort. Listen to 2-second super chats. That'll help you progress forward in the spiritual path, develop equanimity. Don't be so resistant towards what's happening here. And if you're such a wise spiritual teacher, then help me, help us all. No, I want to leave, I need to leave. Don't quit. Don't leave.
At DMC73 donated $2. Robbie Pulse Prime month.
And newsflash, every super chat that's sent, I take on your viewpoint. Doesn't matter what it is. So please send your super chats. We're far away from completing our goal. So I have a skill that Dr. Rob appears not to have, which is I know how to deal with discomfort. People on his live stream, which is a use of live stream, they make super chats talking about me, I'm an e-beggar, this and that. It doesn't feel good. It makes uncomfortable sensations. But it's gonna last for seconds and it'll go away.
At DMC73 donated $2. Hi Bob.
And these people like you. They appreciate you. That's why they're wanting to communicate with you. So DMC, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. I have a very strong suspicion and feeling that Dr. Rob is on the verge of leaving this live stream and just turning this off. I can feel it whenever I'm... But this is his work. You know, we can't all be perfect. So sometimes you have to run away. Things get tough, the tough get going. And the weak, they go home. Mary, thank you for subscribing. So it's important to listen. As Seraph said yesterday on a super chat.
At DMC73 donated $2. I doubt it.
That listening is a superpower. You have to be quiet, you have to perceive, you have to really pay attention to the energy and what the other person is saying. And I believe that's what Dr. Rob is doing here today, right now.
As Welch's Jelly donated $2. This is the quietest drop that's been on this live.
Thank you so much for your donation. So I have to take this and look at myself as well, because, you know, I can't just be pointing fingers at everybody. What is Dr. Rob saying that's true and real? And what can I look at? What can I self-reflect on?
Tyler built 3,480 donated $1.99 through Super Chat.
At DMC73 donated $2. Hashtag gay bomb.
Oh, I can't believe that was read out loud.
I'd go on your mom's face, low key.
Yo, he's fat, bro.
It's fucking big LTM. You're talking too much for LTM. That's fucking Zoman's father, bro.
This is Dr. Rob.
That's Zoman's dad, bro.
What's up, bro?
Zoman, I bet your dad noted on you.
So is what Rob is saying, is there anything true to what he's saying? On the surface, what he's saying is true, but deep down, I don't feel like anything that he's saying is actual truth or things that need to change. Like my pictures of Sadhguru or my desire to make money or this not superficial.
And DMC73 donated $2. This is all good.
Yeah, and
No, I don't have anything against you creating this like superficial micro celebrity group around you and me popping in every once in a while to, you know, show something interesting that people are then going to be curious about, because you may gather around a lot of people and some of them may be seriously interested in spirituality. That's fine. I'm just saying in general, the way that your grift is going, I want to be less and less involved with it. It's less and less meaningful. It's less and less interesting. It's less and less potent. And I'm just calling you out as a fellow spiritual practitioner on the path. Like, you don't represent Sadhguru. You don't represent Isha. You don't work with him as a master or a teacher. And if you want to change that, then that's great. But I am going to call you out on that as a friend, you know, and as a brother on the path. But the way that you go about things, it seems less. You seem less and less serious about being on the path. And I'm just pointing that out to you. Like, you have multiple pictures of Sadhguru around you, but what you're doing in your daily life and what you're doing online doesn't really have much to do with Isha or Sadhguru's teachings, except just some shallow idea in your mind that it does. And so if that's not who you are anymore, maybe you need to restructure and open up again about the fact that you're not the guy that wears Hindu clothing and is like a Canadian god man and is like self-confident, peacocking spiritualist. You're not that person. And that's not your interest. And so when you put on that robe and you dress up like a sannyasi and you dress up like a yogi, when you're not practicing in any way like a yogi, and you use Isha and this background of Sadhguru as something to represent you, like, that's fucked up and that's messed up, man. And that's wrong. And that's gross.
The silence was nice.
And I've talked to you about those specifics of trying to appeal to swamp people who have nothing to do with spirituality and no interest in spirituality, so that you can like be a better beggar. And I don't want anything to do with that either. So I'm just asking you to rework your energy and rework what you're doing.
Donated $9.99 through Super Chat. Acting like you're going down a righteous path to just end up deceiving people is much worse in the eyes of our Creator than just being an everyday person is worse. Creator's judgments are harsher to you.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And man, that's what you're doing most of the time. And God forbid that like a young man or a young spiritual seeker comes across you. Like I've said many times, you position and present yourself as this righteous person that has full control over your body and mind. You're not involved with a sangha. You're not trying to build a sangha. When I talk about your community, your audience, I don't know any of these people. This is just like entertainment, and this is how I make money. And when I talk with you personally, you repeatedly, again and again and again, say, I want to make more money. I'm going to be famous. I'm going to have more subscribers than you, and all that jazz. That's as far as I can get with you. And yeah, that we like each other as human beings and stuff, but where's your path work, man? Where's your curiosity? Where's your contemplativeness? Where's your investigativeness? And then I see you make like videos, like your formal teaching videos, and it's you saying, but wearing your outfit that has nothing to do with who you are and how you carry yourself in public, right? It's total fake persona, crossing your arms and saying, whenever I'm around, people always tell me I'm the most relaxed guy in the room. You want to know why that is? Well, and like I've said, maybe it's because you live at home with your mother and have a very easy life.
$5. They like money, 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 money.
And like that guy just said through a super chat, and I appreciate that, Streamlabs, because actually when you send money through iPhone on YouTube, you send a super chat through YouTube on iPhone. He didn't send it through Streamlabs for whatever reason. He sent it through super chat. It takes 50% of the money that you send. It takes half of the money that you send. So you should have used Streamlabs, Tyler. Please use Streamlabs, okay, if you want to donate and support.
Okay, so fine.
So like I said, it's more wrong when you're presenting yourself as righteousness and you're making yourself into like this panhandling beggar.
73 donated $10. Money, 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 money.
Thank you so much, DMC.
Right, so you have one person here that's like spitting in the face of generosity. One person here is like saying, I've got plenty of money and I throw it around freely because that's what my ego does. And then you've got Shiva saying, hey, I don't mind, baby. That's money in the pocket. That's fucking repulsive to me. I don't want anything to do with that, man. And it's not because I need money. It's not because, oh, Shiva's getting that money instead of me. It's because that's fucking repulsive in any kind of spiritual environment. And you disrespect yourself and you disrespect the Dharma that you're supposed to be carrying and you disrespect Sadhguru. And that's exactly what you're doing. And it doesn't matter what the quality of those people's minds are because you just want fucking money. You just want to make money.
Jerry is 5G7 donated $1.99. Money, 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 money.
Thank you so much. And like I said, please don't donate on the iPhone. Android or laptop or desktop or Safari is good, but not YouTube. iPhone.
Donated $25.
So let me respond to what you said.
Well,
Love to respond.
emoji.
Thank you, Tara. We really appreciate it around here. We respect your practice and your disposition, and we're keeping in touch.
Okay, may I respond? Or?
And the thing that's been brought up multiple times about how in all this content and all this live streaming and stuff that you're doing online, you apparently don't have a single community member that's someone that aligns with you, follows you, that's a spiritual practitioner, that has your back, that's somebody that you have a mutual understanding related to the Dharma with. Not a single fucking person. So does that not stand out to you in an interesting way that either you're going about what you're doing unskillfully or in a wrong way, or you're not looking for that? You're not even open to that. Not a single person that you can identify that's a member of your community, that's on the path, that has worked with teachers, that listens to Dharma talks, that practices, that actually aligns with you. Not a single fucking person. Does that not stand out to you? And then when you're pushed on that, I'm not talking about everybody, I'm talking about you. And when I push you on that and I say, hey, where's your community? Who are your community members? You say, nobody knows anybody online. That's just the way that it works. So if that's what you're doing, I'm just letting you know why I haven't been around. I'm letting Shiva's audience know why I haven't been around. Because for me, that is not what I'm interested in. It's not what I believe in. Somebody gives me a couple bucks. There's one guy that sent me like $250. He sent me hundreds of bucks before. He's like a construction guy or a wealthy guy or some things. I don't really know him like that, but I've checked him multiple times. I've told him about generosity. I've told him about what we're doing here. I haven't blown smoke up his ass and said, thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. That's such a big donation. That's really great. That's really hot and really good. And I hope you give more like that, and for somebody like Seraph, yeah, you want to keep, he told me not to get into the anti-Semitic stuff or the Jewish stuff, but it's nice to get these donation stuff, but I'd like to get to know the guy better. I'd like to understand who he is, where he's coming from, what's going on. I'd like to connect more with him. I don't see any of that coming from you. It's always this performative, superficial presentation of you saying, there you go, Seraph, we love it, guy. And that seems like, and I might say that stuff too, but that seems like as far as you're going with what you're doing. You know, and many members of my community like you, we appreciate you, but the version of yourself that's currently being pushed out there is 100% a cardboard cutout of you. And I'm not interested in that, man. And it also, when I collaborate with you, it opens up the space for those like swamp people to then have an inroad with me. And I've had to check you multiple times because you get into this like normality of this contrast between me and you, where you like sit back and you say, you know what, Dr. Rob, like, he doesn't like when you guys send me money. And I don't want anything to do with that. It's not about me being in competition with you. I just don't, that's not my path. And so I'm looking at you and I'm questioning, like, what are you doing to connect with people, to bring people in, to have real conversations, not just to exploit your audience and have like fake conversations with KK, who's a nice lady and a sincere lady, and say, KK, why don't you come on the show where we talk about the morality of abortion? It's bullshit, man. And it's abuse and it's exploitative. And I know most people here that are watching this maybe don't care or whatever, or don't have the mindset, don't have the depth in their mind to care, and that's fine. I'm not coming at you guys. I'm coming at this Shiva guy because he presents himself as a yogi, as a sannyasin, as a spiritual teacher, and that's not the way that he's living his life. And it doesn't seem to be what he's really interested in.
Danny92 donated €2. Do the Mahakala mantra.
And that's fine for him on a human level or like a regular guy living his life. But in terms of a spiritual friend of mine who's got more responsibility because they've got more access to an audience, they know how to work with an audience, and he's consistently saying to me, I'm going to get more money, I'm going to get more clicks, I'm going to get more views on that, in that level, and also on a subliminal level, like, hey, Rob, like, I just want to be more famous, I want to make money, like, leave me alone, that's what I want to do. Well, that's fine, but that's what I'm going to have to do, is leave you alone, because that doesn't inspire me, that doesn't bring me in, that doesn't, it was fun for a while, especially when you were here and I got to pick up some of that, Bali money making mindset, and I did make some money, and it's great, it's nice, but I don't need money, and my life isn't about making money. My life is about helping people and helping myself to be more free from suffering, using the whiteboard, using our whiteboard, going through Dharma talks, exploring concepts. And I'd love to do that with you, but you're so rattled up in this seek for profit and fame and status, and to the point where you're appealing to non-spiritual, non-genuine trolls and stuff to create an environment where, I'm there to be exploited. I'm there to be made fun of. When you're supposed to, underneath the veil, like, respect me as a Dharma practitioner, respect me as a Dharma teacher. But your ego just gets more and more bloated to the point where you even forget that. I mean, I'm interested in doing all kinds of stuff. I'm interested in traveling together. I'm interested in doing some kind of, retreat element, or creating a group together, working with young men, working with people together. But you're so oversaturated with this drive for short-term profit over any kind of deep looking at what this platform gives us access to do to help others, and by extension to make some real money, not these, falling over with a hunger for $2 donations, that you're not able to think like that. And remember, you're the thinking guy, you're the energy work guy, you're the planning guy, much more so than I am, but you're just not in that headspace. And you should be. And you should get into that headspace, and you should change so that we can use this platform not to grift for money, but to bring Dharma to people, and to bring community to people, and to bring rich and meaningful dynamics to people, to help them grow in their practice, period. And there doesn't seem to be anything that you do to help people grow in their practice besides this superficial, shallow self-help guru stuff. Yeah, I like when my number of viewers is higher. I like getting donations. I can't wait for a big donation to come out of nowhere, and it can be a nice little thing to experience. But that's not my path work. And that's not what I'm coming here to offer. And so if your deal is that you're presenting a version of yourself that's going to help you make money, that's not a version of yourself that I'm interested in.
Repeating yourself.
So, appears to me to just have a lot of boundaries. A lot of, boundaries. In yoga, the practice of yoga is to erase the boundaries and come into union with the creation. So he has all these limitations that he sets on himself. He wants to be a part of a community and bring people in, yet he literally has.
So let's pause for a sec. Let's pause here and remember that his entire persona, his entire grift, most of the interesting things that he does or has done are direct copies of me. There was like a 2-day period where he was literally like 100% mimicking me, like pretending to be me or something. That his whole deal over the past months and his whole channel over the past year has been primarily about me bringing boundarylessness to the table, challenging boundaries, challenging persona, challenging identity, challenging this little rigid form of I'm Shiva and I wear a hat and I don't walk outside with it, but I'm okay to walk this way with it.
Excited for the next level of this sangha.
Shiva is constantly going backwards because he's constantly appealing to and seeking for the lowest common denominator to give him $2 donations. And yeah, 100%. Tara Schmidt says the Buddha had boundaries. He didn't really deal with dusty, musty morons. Sadhguru has boundaries. Let me assure you of something right here and now, Shiva. Sadhguru has a boundary for people like you. If you went to Isha Foundation, you would be put to fucking work. You would be a basic, low-level, random volunteer. You wouldn't be a Dharma teacher. I want to say a little bit more about this. You would in no way be walking around and like energetically attenuating with more advanced practitioners in the place. You are not that fucking guy, dude. You are not in that zone. You would go into that kind of environment, you would be immediately humbled and you'd be immediately put to work. And you'd start building up a new ego about that you're volunteering it, you're at Isha and you're doing this and you're doing that. And then if you wanted to monetize it and start doing live streams and stuff, they tell you you cannot do that here. Because you don't represent Isha, and that's not what you're here to do. You're here to sacrifice yourself and volunteer and give, not to give a little bit and then use that merit to take. And you're constantly do that. You're constantly exhausting your merit. And so most of the time, if I come across you and I'm not super fucking amped up and charged up, you're just going to disassociate into the $2 bills that are being put in your little panhandling hat. And if you want me to let Shiva talk, you should be on the Monk Life Meditation 4K live streaming, donating to me and saying, hey, man, let Shiva talk a little bit.
Welch's J donated $2. Rob is losing his marbles over these super chats.
Thank you so much, guys, for the super chats. It's time for me to
Is it time to burn a $100 bill? Is it time to burn on the live stream a crisp $100 bill? Or should we burn 2 or 3? Right? Buddha Dhamma Sangha. To show what Dr. Rob thinks about $2 bills. And Shiva constantly trying to appeal to these people. They have no interest in listening deeply. They have no interest in sharing deeply. And they're literally throwing coins at Shiva because they're having a soap opera parasocial dynamic that they feel like is interesting and rewarding. And in the environment of that, Shiva is the yogi that says, yes, the $2 bills are well-minded. The $2 bills are true direction. The $2 bills are reaching the place. And that's why, he's live streaming by himself most of the time.
$2. Just Rob, it's okay. You're making a bank.
That's true.
And if he was actually the Arabic mastermind that he presents himself to be most of the time, behind the scenes, he would have changed the TTS limit to $5, and then he would have fucking casually and normally said in the background, "Hey guys, look, you got the TTS is now officially $5 a piece." But he's not a mastermind. He's a philandering flower of a buffoon that takes no responsibility for his personal life, materially or spiritually.
So if you don't know who I am, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Shigokai Lashambo.
As much as Journey donated $2. Rob, he's made more in these few minutes than you.
Thank you so much for supporting my channel.
Interesting question that came up. But seriously, where do Shiva's donations go? They go to a 30-year-old man that has practiced a little bit at some monasteries, at some temples, at some ashrams, that presents himself as a spiritual teacher. These donations go towards his desire to have more money. That's literally who this guy is, and that's literally what he says behind the scenes. I want to have more money. I need to have more money. That's where the donations go. But guess what? Just like there's no community members in Shiva's community that have any practice at all or interest in spirituality, those donations come from people, like I said, that are parasocially identifying with conflict and feel like they're voting or they're facilitating and supporting conflict by giving money to him. And he just eats it up because he doesn't care, because he doesn't even understand generosity. He doesn't even understand. Hello, Shiva, what is Isha all about? What do you do when you go to Isha? You fucking volunteer. You volunteer all day. You wake up early in the morning and then you volunteer until late at night. Again and again and again. Volunteering and generosity are like this. Okay? So your job as a representative Isha is to talk about volunteering, is to talk about what donations mean. Not for you to pretend that you need donations for a racing wheel. And that's why I haven't been live stream with you. And I'm not interested, because it's ignoble. Your activities of late are ignoble, and you're thoroughly representing your intention as being ignoble, and you don't seem to mind about that. You don't seem to care. And you'd be happy to sacrifice this friendship, your relationship with Isha and Sadhguru, which you have, for short-term profit and short-term gain. All right, love you too, Tara. Thank you and goodbye.
Tyler Belt 3,480 donated $1.99 through Super Chat. A righteous practicing devil with a silver tongue.
Achieve Maharajas donated $1.99. Ignoble, nice one, Rob.
All right, now, to show Shiva what the business is, to show Shiva what the reality is, I want to get some major donations. You can send it anonymously. You can send the donation anonymously on my Cash App at MonkLife93. You can send the donation directly through Streamlabs. You can send the donation through Super Chat here on YouTube if you want to. But let's get some multi-$100 donations coming in to show Shiva that his community and his donors are shallow, superficial, and wrong. Maybe that's not really the best way to do that, but you can do that if you'd like to. He already knows that. He just wants to make money more than anything else. So, and turn it down. turn the TTS down a little bit. I don't need to hear every time that somebody puts 50 cents in your little begging bowl. I don't need to hear a screaming voice in the background. Turn the volume down a little bit. I don't need to hear that. We don't need to hear a screaming voice in the background every time that somebody gives you 50 cents. These people are literally giving you 50-cent coins.
Achieve a Maharaja's War donated $1.99. Rob, how do I donate to you? Please tell me. As well, just Jelly donated $2. Don't talk bad about us, Rob. You can't shut up.
So actually, even Shiva can see that I'm growing, I'm developing.
At DMC73 donated $2. It's so loud, baby.
But Shiva isn't. And he's trying to build up this like totally superficial community of people that rely on entertainment and content. And, I just don't have an interest to be involved with it.
It was a wise old saying. And it goes like this. When the enemy is busy destroying,
So this is exactly what I'm talking about. I just, it's not something I want to be involved with. Thank you for all the new subscribers. Welcome in, everybody. If you want to see a 4K horizontal version of this live stream, you can go from here to my YouTube channel on YouTube. You can go to Monk Life Meditation, the YouTube channel, and you can see me in 4K with the face paint and much higher quality audio. So we're going to move over to there.
Because practicing meditation
No, rage quit isn't a real thing. Just a superficial idea, superficial thought. You're saying rage quit like it's the Gospel of John or something like that. What does it mean to rage quit? And if anything, Shiva rage quitted from his own stream. I didn't stop streaming. Do I look like I'm in a rage? Do I sound like I'm in a rage? No, I can't end Shiva's stream. He ended his stream. Yeah, that's right. That's a good way to say it, Cedar. There's a lot of things that I do. I want to develop my capacity to work together with anyone and everyone, especially somebody like Shiva. He has a lot of potential. But I've already sent him an invite. Wow, look at that. 3,000 joules, everybody. Thank you, Dreamtooth. And thank you for subscribing, Dave. New subscriber, Dave. Was that really 3 hours? That's crazy. Can't believe that. That was a great stream.
Dreamtooth_CS donated $6.33 through Super Chat. Heart hands emoji.
So, thank you, Dreamtooth. So, Shiva is somebody who I love, somebody who I care about, somebody who I have a lot of trust for and with. But it's almost like when I'm spending time in that space, it's like I'm enabling Shiva's enablers, who, to say that they're enabling like Shiva's bad qualities would be to give too much to them, because they don't know what they're doing. Like I was trying to describe, and Shiva was like either genuinely or disingenuously not understanding what I was saying. But they're specifically donating because they see a kind of conflict going on that they don't really understand. And the way that they understand it is like this totally minimized and shallow and superficial version of, it's this guy versus that guy. There's nothing else that exists in the whole wide world. And I like that guy that's sitting there, not the guy yapping and talking smart. And so that's not something that is good or healthy. It's something that gives Shiva short-term profit, but some of these people are like long-term stalkers and like parasocially follow along with this dynamic between me and Shiva, and they should be talked to. And they shouldn't have like a carte blanche open policy for not being challenged and talked to directly about what's going on, and it's Shiva's responsibility to do that. So I invite him to do that. But that's not something that I want to participate. It's not about the money. If Shiva needs the money, I'll give him the money. He doesn't need money. He's got plenty of money, and he's got no vision or missions or basic needs. And he's not practicing in such a way where he's worthy of generosity. You know, he's not living in a way that's worthy of donations. He's not giving that level of value to people where it would even make sense for them to donate to him in a transactional way. I think that he could if he thought about it, and I think he would fail, right? So he would prepare something, create something that was like this superficial spirituality that he put a lot of attention and focus on. Then he would find out that nobody would buy that. And I think that would be a great learning lesson for him. And yeah, it's not about attacking him. It's about us being on the same side and trying to raise up our level and layers of awareness and to deepen our understanding about what's going on and to bring it back to deep spirituality. You know, that's what it's about. And I just want to see the version of Shiva that's more in line with that and more actively willing to accept that what he's built and what he's created and the way that he's operating is basically antithetical to Sangha. It's antithetical to Buddha Dharma. And, you know, I put myself out there as well because I make nice videos. You know, I can present myself as a non-duality teacher, present myself in like an expert and practice and different ideas and different teachings that people bring up and challenge them. And I've gotten a lot of heavy hitters or well-minded people that have saw some of that content, like my takedown videos of Angelo DeLulu, the non-duality teacher, and have gotten a lot of feedback and respect from people that I didn't expect to hear from. And yet then a little bit later, you know, I show up like this. Well, I do that because I'm not trying to build a persona that's commercially marketable, because that's not my focus. It's to connect with people. It's to give a deep and meaningful, energetic space to connect with people directly, to understand more about the Buddha Dharma. Yeah, he has no real community. And he could talk about that, he could accept that, but it would be humbling. And it would be a challenge to like this fake version of himself that he presents to people to make them think that he's a righteous guy. And he's not. He's not righteous. He doesn't have a righteous bone in his whole body. He's a racist. He's a sexist. He's anti-feminist. He's a speciesist while also positioning himself as like a militant vegan. It's insane. Are you really saying that? Is that what you're really saying right now? People have millions of subscribers when they made videos of them stuffing their face with food, and now they don't get any views on their channel. What do views have to do with it? What do subscribers have to do with it? It's people that are subscribing to participate in a parasocial environment where they get their comment to be seen. There's nothing significant about that or meaningful about that. It's just like how much money you have in your bank account. And this is the thing. This is actually the way that Shiva thinks. You could have all the money in the world in your bank account, Shiva. It wouldn't mean that you're really a good person or that you're really living a good life. Certainly wouldn't mean that you're a good Dharma teacher or that you're actually invested or interested or focusing on sharing the Dharma just because you had a bunch of money and you had, you know, a lot of followers or whatever. I don't want you to fail, except to the point that you'll do your spiritual work more seriously. You're a young guy. You've got a home base. You got plenty of money. Let's get to work. Let's fucking explore. Not spending 200 US dollars, 200 Canadian dollars. It's US dollars, right? So spending like 400 Canadian dollars on some dumb as fuck racing wheel that has nothing to do with your content and has nothing to do with your practice. I want a new camera. I want a camera that can do 4K 60 FPS. I don't even think my internet can take that. Could push that out. But that's not important because I already have what I need to do my work. I want a new phone. You know, I want an S26 Ultra, S27 Ultra. I can't wait. But it's not important. I don't need that. So you should use what you already have to go deeper into your sadhana. Your mom's totally on board. There's tons of resources at your disposal, and yet you want to go into this delusional idea and this delusional plan of you being like a micro celebrity or like a spiritual I show speed when that's never going to happen. This fixation on grifting for money is just insane to me, man.
Define grifting.
You're doing what you're doing primarily to get money, and there's no focus or fixation on the value that you're bringing to other people.
So basically what a job is.
For example, like taking KK, who's like a sincere person. Look, tell that to the people that most of the people that subscribe to you that are hate watchers or drama watchers or see you as a lolcow, right? See you as a human freak. Tell that to them. Don't tell that to me. I don't need a job. I'm a motherfucking boss. So I don't know what to be prideful about being a job, but I like you and I respect you because you're a practitioner, because you're a yogi. You know, so if your job is performative sadhana or being a performative yogi or a performative sannyasin, all right, but that's a very dangerous job to have. Because when you teach the Dharma with this underlying basis for personal profit, you're going to get fucking karmically whooped. You're going to get your fucking ass beat. Martin Piadamo told me about that. After I came from India, I went to Thailand, I went to talk with him, and I told him what happened in India. I said, what do you think I should do next? You know, should I teach the Dharma? Should I be a Dharma teacher online? He said, look, it's fine if you like read scriptures with people, you meditate with people, but my recommendation is that you don't be a Dharma teacher and you go and do something just like teaching English or whatever to get by. I said, well, what's the deal with that? And I kind of had a key into it. And he said, yeah, it's because the karmic retribution of working with the Dharma, and in your case, working with Sadhguru's image as a Buddha, as a fully enlightened being, and using that as a way for you to position yourself to make money, is using Dharma for greed. And of course, you're going to karmically get your fucking ass kicked if you do that. Really. Truly. You play around, you trust me, you play around, you'll find out. You know, in some sense, you're already finding out, but, you know, so that's why I don't prioritize the live stream with you, because on one hand, you're doing like this fake nice guy, micro celebrity, money guy who's this is his job, right? And on the other hand, you're not giving like, you're not willing to be vulnerable and give like real energy and have real conversations about things. So just in terms of what I enjoy and what I can consume and what I can eat, I can't eat that level of potency. There's nothing that I can take away from that. And you can see that and you can feel that, and that's probably frustrating. So instead of you looking at that and reworking it, like we've done work on live streams, we've done collaborative live streams where I've helped you go deep and helped you try different things and be more self-sacrificial and vulnerable, and that's worked and it's been nice. But then you immediately use that energy to revert into this superficial grifting or job mentality. And I can't eat that. You know, I can't consume that. If you want to be potent, that's great, because I can work with that. I can eat with that. We can play with that. You want to play, that's great. Play is great. But when you become this spiritual grifter guy that's using swamp people to bounce off of so that you can be in an energetic position to like spit on me or disrespect me or use me for you to make money, of course I'm not going to be involved with that. And I don't feel like I'm lower because that's the case. I just feel like that's not a place I'd like to hang out. Those aren't the kind of people that I like to be around.
Do you think it's disrespectful to call people that donate to me as swamp
You know exactly what I'm talking about, and you don't care, and you're fine with that because that's the grifter mentality. That's the money-making mentality. If they're donating, that's it. But I don't believe in that. I don't agree with that. This isn't a job for me. This isn't a money-making enterprise for me. This is a form of sadhana for me. And I tried to talk with you about that originally, as well as the principle of generosity and begging and giving people a platform, explaining to people about generosity and donating as self-sacrifice. And you weren't able, and you haven't really been able to fully digest that or understand that. And it's turned into, oh, I could make money with this. There's a way for me to make money in this, but that's not, I can't sit on a Dharma chair on a Dharma stage with somebody who's operating like that. For other people and for myself, it's just, it's very ignoble, something very ignoble to consume. It's your mentality, it's your disposition, it's your perspective. It's like, what's the deal with the racing wheel? It's just the ego thing. Just like how you'll flex money or you say, hey, look, I got this nice mount. I know exactly what you're doing. That shit's dangerous too, just FYI. But it's like, it's not there. It's not going to do anything for the content. It has nothing to do with generosity or people really supporting you. It's not even real, right? It's just you creating like a trick or a grift to put in front of people to say, hey, don't forget to donate. We're almost at the racing wheel. You got plenty of money for the fucking racing wheel. What's the point? For you to create a deeper nest at your mom's house? And I guess you can do that. I mean, in some way, it's fair to do that. You like that, and you've got a place where you can keep it for the long term. But it shouldn't have any place in, your sadhana or your real spiritual work. And I'm trying to bring that out of you and remind you of that. And if you want to be crazy and wild, well, I can meet you there, but you're just not giving me anything that I can eat. And then you're constantly trying to, nudge people and say, hey, it's Dr. Rob. Let's get on him. I would never be doing that if you were coming to where I am. Whenever I go live stream, I'm coming to where you are. You're not coming to me. I'm coming to you, right? I'm a guest with you and what you're doing. And if you come to me with what I'm doing, you usually just sit there with your hands together. So me as a guest, you have to treat me well. You have to consider about my needs, my desires, my expectations, my concerns as someone who's someone who has a little bit less experience with the whole situation. The money-making situation in spiritual life, being able to take care of yourself, and also the practice. And I felt it, man. I felt it when you were here. It went into me. It's bled into me, and it's bleeding out of me now. But like this money and this grifting and this focusing on donation and getting worked up about it. Of course, I can still relate to it. But it's not something that I want to feed and fuel. Definitely not.
Is money dharma?
Is money dharma? Well, you should have watched. I'll be publishing a video very soon where we talk about Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, where we use the whiteboard. And you can watch that. You could say that money is a lowercase dharma. And when perceived in the right way as an object, so you could say a material object or name and form as a reference point or coming from and going back to awareness or Buddha, then that would be a lowercase dharma. But in just a relative or practical sense, it'd be either a material phenomena and then there'd be the mental phenomena, the name that you give to it. I would say that money is fundamentally impermanent, illusory, and not satisfactory. So our pursuance of it and our attempt to hoard it and grasp it and keep it is never actually going to work out. Come back to Vietnam or go to Isha in America or go to Isha in Canada. Prioritize your sadhana. You got plenty of money. You got total endless resources. When your mom passes away, that house is going to be yours, right? I don't think your mom's going to die anytime soon. I've taken a look at her. She looked pretty healthy to me, but you're set, man. You're flush. You're so much in the plus, you can't believe it. But how do you actually actualize that money to use it for your continuation on the path? That's where my question mark is. And I think that's what's more interesting to people. That's where your real Shiva is, that people like, people follow, people can connect with. I'd like if you were over here fucking around here in Vietnam, but if there's no Dharma in Costa Rica for you. There's no Dharma in visiting America for you. Go to Nepal. Let's go to Nepal together. Go to visit different countries, go and travel and do your live streaming there, do IRL streaming. Be out there. You got the pickup artist background. There's so much stuff that you can do. But you sitting and rotting in your house, it's just like you're getting worse and worse and worse in terms of the value that you're offering. I'm not saying you're not making money, but the value that you're offering is reducing drastically.
I develop in my dharma just by living.
Yeah, it's just your ego. It's just a cope. And that doesn't mean anything to anybody in your community, right? So you're literally just saying that from your ego to your ego. Like Sadhguru would never say that to you. Sadhguru would never allow you to have that kind of position. Nobody in your community knows what you're talking about or even cares what Dharma is, nor do they care about what your Dharma is.
I will if he comes to Toronto. Thank you very much for your donation.
Yeah. Thank you, Corpse Mankind. You've given Shiva a total amount of $22 over the past year. And we really appreciate that. And I hope soon that it'll be $24. And you've also shared so much. You've put a few messages about you're a combat medic and you don't like Rob and Rob doesn't get it. We're so grateful for your Let's get some big W's in the chat, everybody, for our friend Corpse Mankind, Shiva's #1 fan, who's also a trained mindfulness instructor, and he makes money with his mindfulness. Who the fuck is Corpse Mankind? You go into this state of disassociation to appeal to this hyper superficial, vague, parasocial relationship that doesn't even exist. This guy's supposed to have money, right? He's supposed to be a fucking veteran on the dole. Dude's flush with cash, and he gives you $2 donations and says, "Hey, Shiva, it's me. Remember, I don't like Rob, and I kind of get some of this stuff." So you can keep building up and working out those relationships. I'm just saying that that's not valuable. It's not It's not valuable monetarily, and it's not valuable in terms of your community or your practice. It's nonsense. The same with somebody like Ray Brown. I mean, you can feel it. It's just swamp people. And maybe it's not right for me to say that, but yeah, that's their level. They don't want to practice. They don't want to listen. They don't want to give. If you bring it to anything of depth, somehow they're magically not there.
If they are swamp people, what does that make you?
Makes me Dr. Rob, the former Buddhist monk of 8 years, that's building a meditation center in Vietnam that has very kind, wealthy donors all over the world, students, practitioners, followers. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of a reality check, man. Oh, Corpse Mankind says, Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva, Om Shiva. Where's the beehive?
Coleman's donated $2. Can you tell Rob how I wish him well constantly?
He donates to you as well.
So it's great that we get real, right? It's great that we get real. Okay, I get it, Ray Brown. It's okay. Nobody here's a swamp person. Everybody here's okay. No, you don't. I mean, I was thinking about even making a takedown video because of this video you made on your channel. I forget which one. You know, it was one of the videos that you published. It was just so ridiculous. I've mentioned it a few times, right? When I walk into a room, people always say I'm the most relaxed guy. You want to know why that is? Well, it's because my asshole opened up and my kundalini flowed out, and then my energy was all transformed. It's okay if you want to do this, man. I'm just letting you know that as your friend, as your co-conspirator, as your true brother on the path, it doesn't seem to be engaging people who have any degree of real spiritual practice. And it doesn't seem to be particularly engaging you in a way to develop. Right? Just be peaceful, man.
Constantly by all kinds of people, not just spiritual people, but that's one thing that you should know about me. That's one thing that people say about me often, especially when they meet me in public, in person. They feel my vibes, they sit in front of me, beside me for a few minutes, and they say, "Whoa, man, you're like really chill. You're like really peaceful."
You don't meet anybody in person. You stay in your room every single day unless your mom's neighbors have some chores for you to do and to cut some grass or something like that. In the same way that it's not absolutely true, it's not absolutely true. And Ray Brown, the situation would be different if Shiva gave a fuck about you, which he doesn't. He doesn't know who you are, some fucking black woman. He's a racist. He doesn't give a fuck about you. I mean, what have we done? No, really. I mean, really. This is the guy's deal. He doesn't give a fuck. Who's Ray Brown, Shiva? Tell me something about Ray Brown.
Didn't you a few days ago say the N-word with a hard R on Livestream?
Exactly, right? So you got to shift, man. You got to take a pivot. Really. You got to take a pivot, man. Nigger is just a word. And it's a word that white people would call black people to put them down.
I would appreciate it if you don't say that word here in my live stream.
Okay, sure. It's your live stream. You're not developing every day. What are you talking? And this is the thing, right? If you went to Isha, if for some reason, right, let's say for some magical reason, Sadhguru heard about this whole situation and he said, that's Shiva Kailash Shambho. That's my guy. I heard he got rejected from Isha. He wanted to come and stay. I want Shiva to come and stay at Isha. What would you be doing every day? Normal, basic manual labor with all the other volunteers, with all the other residents indefinitely. That's what you'd be doing. This is creating an environment, creating a mindset in you that you are special. And this is a major, major sickness and a major, major fucking problem for your sadhana and for your path work. And getting worked up and allowing your ego to get built up on these superficial donations from people like Corpse Mankind, these superficial donations that he gives is not good. It's not correct. It's not right. It's not helping you. This guy doesn't take you seriously. Well, maybe he, men tend to be very transactional, so he knows you don't need the money for anything other than something extra in your bank account, so maybe he just doesn't see that point. But I don't think Corpse Mankind would donate if you needed something or if you were in a situation. I don't think he would be there. Ray Ray Brown certainly wouldn't be there. She thinks that she's equal to you or above you. She has no idea even what's going on here. She doesn't even know what the Dharma is. She's not interested. It's just something she feels comfortable with. And now he's dragging it down into just random ego bullshit. Well, if you're building a business, you got a bunch of fucking money. Anyways, it's not about these random people that have nothing to do with what's going on here. So I want Shiva to be better and stronger and go deeper in his practice and his path and his sadhana, not gargling on Akkadian Stacker's testicles under the impression that he might get some silver. You need community, man. You need to be challenged. You need to be called out. You need to engage. And what you're doing on your live streams is a performance that's building up your ego more than anything else. Just like this video that you made here. I mean, this question does seem to be very poignant, right? Why is there not a single person that's like a serious practitioner in any way, even in the way that you would think about it or know about it, even being superficial about it, right? That actively supports you and follows you and is connected to you from all of these new subscribers and followers and all that? Name one single person, not Corpse Mankind or Ray Ray, just because Shiva wouldn't even think of Corpse Mankind if he wasn't here making little comments. There's no one. There's more people in my community that follow you and are connected to you through me than are. It's not absolute. This isn't like an absolute paradigm. Like this proves an absolute point. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's something to look at. And why? Okay, why any single person who does have a spiritual bone in their body, who's followed you or has been connected with you or has been aligned with you, somehow magically, mysteriously forms a deeper connection with me from seeing our interactions together. Any things that you could pull from that or that you could ideate from that or come up with from that? And then we have to go into you doing these like 3-hour gaming live streams. And also, I don't want to embarrass you, right? But making like a gaming channel is fine if that's what you want to do. I'm just saying it doesn't have anything to do with sadhana. It's off topic, right? So what's going on? I want to live well and I want to, I don't want to be coarse, right? But I want to slap your mother in her face and ask why she raised such a pussy. I was just thinking about you, Deva, because I haven't seen you around. I haven't seen you around, Deva Moon, recently. So I literally just thought about you, Deva. I just thought about you specifically, and here you are.
My mom came out of your mouth. A spiritual secret.
Okay. Well, in terms of wanting to live well, you're 30 years old, you live at home with your mother, you've never had your own apartment, you've never held down a real job, you've never been on a career pathway, you have no intention to move out, you have no intention to get like a regular, real, stable job. I guess you could make more money at a stable job outside of this, but maybe not. You are making money in this way, so it's okay. But making money doesn't go together with the spiritual path.
Similarly, people here are also spiritual seekers. Who's a spiritual seeker? Reverend Brown, Danny, David Moon, who's a supporter of my channel. Thank you so much, buddy.
You called Deva-Moon Dan? You don't know Deva-Moon? How do you not know Deva-Moon? She's overflowing. Her energy is radiant. She fucking radiates off the page. You don't know Deva-Moon? You call Deva-Moon Danny? You're out of your rocker, man. You've lost any kind of sensitivity, spiritual sensitivity that you've ever had. 100%, man. You literally have that kind of relationship with even Deva-Moon? You're isolated, man. And you don't want to be vulnerable. You don't want to be the real you.
Just for clarification, Danny is a separate person. He's here.
Where's he at? Danny, where are you? Make yourself known, Danny.
So because I'm a spiritual seeker, I assume that most people that follow me are also spiritual seekers.
Okay. Are you talking to an AI or something? What are you talking about? Because I'm a spiritual seeker, I assume that and that's the other thing, right? None of your community members actually, and none of your fucking community's members know each other. It's just a wasteland. It's a wasteland of superficial vagueness and performative spirituality. There's no interconnection with anybody here. There's no experience of interbeing with anybody here. There's no solid ground of connectivity to anything going on here at all. From anybody, not from a single person. Ray Brown doesn't know Corpse Mankind from Deva-Moon, from all that. You could pick up every name out of the hat in the entire world. None of those people would have any connection to each other at all. Zero, right? So I'm just speaking for myself in terms of collaborating with you and spending time with you. That's not the kind of space that I have any interest in. The contrast is interesting, right? Because there's a lot of people in my community that are very serious spiritual seekers. They've lived at meditation centers. They want to support our meditation center project here in Vietnam. We've spent time together. We've gone on trips together. We know each other very well, and the members know each other as well. There's a very kind of congruent energy source flowing together, like a sense of interbeing going on. And you're part of that too, Shiva, right? But it seems like what you present and what you emanate is somehow really really spacious for shallowness and superficial connections. No, you haven't. Your entire channel has been 100% turned on its head since you met me. Your entire channel and everybody that ever was connected with you or followed you or like that Discord group that you have has entirely been turned over and everything fell out. Yeah, you know people in your life, but they have nothing to do with following you as a spiritual teacher or like having reverence for you or respect for you or having faith in your path. Corpse Mankind, Ray Brown don't. They don't even believe in that shit. They just, Shiva's kind of a nice guy and this stuff's interesting and I like hanging out. I need something to do. I like live stuff and Shiva's a good option. No one, not a single person. And I'm not trying to put those people down. I'm just saying that's the way that it is. You're delusional. What are you talking about? We've just gone over this like I've just gone over this like 10 times. People are throwing money at you like you're a dancing monkey. In contrast to me, where they're like, Dr. Rob and Shiva are fighting. Look, I'm giving Shiva money, and Shiva likes it, and Dr. Rob don't. You know that dynamic is something you have continuously leaned into and tried to profit off of.
Donated $2. Come to the dome of Shiva. Express a beautiful desert emoji.
How did we meet? We met because I found like Shiva had a Discord channel, and then I went in there and I just talked with his group and different things like that for a while. Maybe a year ago or something. 2 years ago. Very good. Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Foxy. It's really beautiful. Thank you. Go ahead, take your little wee Shiva. Oh, is there a flow going? Are you waiting for the flow?
So I'm a spiritual seeker. We have spiritual seekers here. I have things to share.
Do you want to know why I get more flack from people? It's because I challenge them. Because I challenge them, right? And that's also why we're able to create an actual spiritual community where people know one another and are at a flip of a fucking switch. If one of our Sangha members or community members were in need or in difficulty, we would fucking support them. We would get together, we'd figure something out, and we would support them for sure. For sure. People would fly to other places in the country or in the world to help take care of somebody if it came down to that. 100% with our core Sangha members. Goes without saying. We'd flip a switch, we'd activate. Corpse Mankind wouldn't fucking drive down the street for some random fuck that you said needed some help. Corpse Mankind doesn't listen to you, doesn't have reverence for you. You're delusional. You said, people wouldn't give me money if they don't have reverence for me. You don't even know what the word reverence means, Shiva. What is reverence? Tell me what reverence is. Tell me the definition of the word reverence, Shiva. Yeah, to revere. Yeah, like Paul Revere, right? It's a word that has the root of Paul Revere. Yeah, he is rattled, and it's great. It's good. But unless he reorients in some way, oh, it's Camilla. Oh my gosh, a supporter in Sweden, a student in Sweden. They're right, everybody. And just FYI, Shiva, and this is the funniest thing, right? Is that Shiva, like, he wants us to work together, he wants us to spend time together, he wants us to stream together. All the while, if there are any fucking disassociated people out there that somehow think that Shiva is a guru or a teacher in some way, I will find a fucking way to break that shit up. I promise you that. One way or another, this way or that way. Either by association or by pointing out. Where you say, God in damn hell, I can't trust this guy. What's he doing with him? So this is also a public service in that sense. It's just I'm not beneficent enough. I'm not benevolent enough to prioritize that. Although that's a good reason to come back, once a week or every once in a while to make sure that the pot of worms that has crawled into Shiva's vegan beekeeping trap get emptied out and set free again. Shiva's 50-cent donors, and I'm establishing myself as well. I don't need any money. I don't need anybody to donate money. I'd much rather people donate their time, their energy, their presence, their attention, their depth. And, if they have extra money and they want to give it to me, that's fine. But there's zero need for that. There's zero need for me to make money in anything that I do. And I think that people who've been watching over the past week, the past 2 weeks, whatever, can actually feel that and sense that, profit model or that donation model has largely kind of stepped back and stepped away. And that's something that I'm consciously, I want to actualize because I don't need anybody's money. And I know that sometimes it does put people in that position, and that can be confusing. But people do need to be challenged, But I'm transitioning. I'm trying to transition, to be less forceful about my sharing and my teaching and all that stuff.
Cormankind invited me to Arizona.
Yeah, he invited you to fuck his ass too, right? Just like Acadian Stacker is going to send you some silver. Let's get some W's in the chat, everybody. Who knew that Shiva was going to get his shit rocked this hard today? Shiva didn't know, waking up in his little slumber. Will Rob live stream with me today? Or do I need to put on the outfit? Do I need to get the sheet? Mom, is the laundry done? I'm not saying I don't enjoy it, but sometimes it's just not. It's not interesting. People know that if they need something, especially spiritually, but just generally as members of our sangha, members of our community, I'd be surprised if it can't be met. I mean, I'm not a cancer doctor, I'm not a brain surgeon or whatever, but you want to become a volunteer, a monk, a nun, a yogi, you want to find a meditation center, you want to live at a meditation center, you need help, you need a meal, you need to be transported to a particular place so you can go and join something. If you're a sangha member, well, too bad for me, too bad for us, because that's the way that it is. I've got people in my sangha, I'm waiting for them to tell me they need some money. I'm waiting for that chance. That doesn't even compute with you. You don't even know what I'm talking about, Shiva. I can see your brain shrinking. It's like you're dehydrated from selfishness and self-fixation and self-success. Shiva, did you take apart a Deva Goody? And anyways, you can't even trust the guy for that kind of stuff because he's not that guy either. He knows a few small things about the most well-known things that probably Sadhguru has talked about. He vaguely knows about them. And if he's pushed on it or he's challenged about it, he'll give you some little walk around. And maybe he does. He certainly doesn't talk about any of that stuff. He never talks about Hinduism. He never talks about, Davies or Schmadies or babies or ladies or gabies. Well, he does talk about that stuff, right? How virgin women shouldn't get an abortion because then they wouldn't be able to be his wife or sleep in his bed with him. He doesn't talk about fucking Hinduism. And if he knew about it, that's probably what he would do. He would grift in that direction. He'd pretend to be that kind of guy. He doesn't know about that stuff. It has nothing to do with it. Thanks for subscribing, King Cyber. That's a cool name.
I talk about that literally every day.
No, you don't. You absolutely do not. You never talk about the specifics of Hinduism. It's always superficial presentation of your life advice. And who can watch that shit anyway? Just sitting you there wailing and whining and begging for money. And you can see him if you watch closely. You can literally see him there waiting for money. And he's just seeing how long he can sit there to see how many $2 and $5 donations he can get. Yeah, the forehead gourd is dehydrating. He names himself Shiva, but probably does not know why Shiva is blue. Shiva, why is Shiva blue?
Because of his throat chakra.
Because of his throat chakra. Well, that's certainly not specific. Do you know about the 4 yogas, which are foundational for sadhana?
Yes, I do.
And that's why I like this guy, because he can take a beating. He can really take a beating. But the resiliency of him isn't like to go further into sadhana. It's to use that beating to reaffirm himself as Shiva, the cybersecurity spiritual guru of the mind, which he's not.
Call this a beating.
And then the deeper fact, because I always see things in kind of a generous way. He's more delusional that you can. That's why I tell people, like, he's literally a racist, a sexist, anti-feminist, speciesist. The dude called the police on a fucking rooster. That's, that kind of stuff will scare you. That'll scare me. Start looking at him as he really is. I'm fucking, step back. But he literally is that guy. You know what I mean? And I still, try to give him the generosity, give him the space, and share with him because he can take a beating, and I appreciate that. Where should one start to learn about the Dharma? Where you are. So if where you are is with somebody who spent 8 years as a Buddhist monk that looks like me, well, that's a good place to start learning about the Dharma. It's certainly interesting, isn't it? Major Detractor says the teachings were meant for actions, not spiritual posturing. Right? So he presents himself as a righteous man that's also believes that women's value depends on their sexual purity, and calls the police on roosters and threatens Vietnamese hotel owners if they don't do something about the noise outside.
I didn't call the police on the rooster. I don't think women's value is based on how their reproductive choices are. And it's not a beating. But if you want me to come to Vietnam and show you what a beating is, you don't even have to ask.
Well, I already know what the beating is going to be. It's going to bring the stink that you bring with you and carry with you throughout the journey. But you'll be traveling a lot lighter on your journey, won't you? Because the precious, sacred copper vessels that liquid is to be drunken out of are all rusted up. And Shiva, the beekeeping, crocodile house building, master of all things material and spiritual, can't fucking clean the rust out of his Isha gift shop copper flasks to then drink out of them, which is supposed to bring him spiritual purity. True Manchu just subscribed. Thank you, True Manchu. Okay, Jack Goldman says it was a video on his channel. He literally destroyed a Deva Goody from Isha. He wanted to get the Mercury core. And if you don't change your ways, Shiva, I'm going to have to go and start recruiting. I'm going to have to go and start recruiting an army of Hindus, an army of Isha volunteers, an army of people that follow Sadhguru to come and look at this guy that's representing himself as an Isha teacher.
I'm not an Isha teacher, but I am very influenced by Sadhguru. Positive way. So I don't know why you can't afford headphones. It's like your end.
No, the echo is on your end. The echo is specifically on your end.
Surface level explanations of appearance.
The echo is literally on your end, you absolute buffoon. The echo is literally on your end. Go, I'm going to mute both mics and you talk.
Hello, 1, 2, 3. I'm talking. There's no echo. The echo's gone.
Oh, the echo was on the hardware side of my end. Because I'm hearing your voice over here, then I'm hearing it over there. Okay, Tris Megistus says, I started out as a detractor who thought Rob was disingenuous, but I've changed my opinion. He's a real monk, and his words and actions are true. He believes what he is saying. I apologize. There you go.
There's the different part. And compliment you on believing what you're saying. As if that has any value. Say, gives a shit. That's what you read out loud, by the way. Just some nonsense trash. I'm a spiritual guy, I'm a spiritual seeker. I've been to Buddhist monasteries around the world. I've been initiated by Sadhguru. I've been to India. I've been to Kailash. I've been to the Himalayas. I've been to various temples. I've meditated deeply for many years. I have psychic powers. I have intuitive vision. I have clarity of thought. I have perception. And most importantly now, well, here in Canada, I'm 30-year-old man.
Can you really say he was a monk? No, not really.
So we do have an opportunity for generosity here, everybody. My long charging cord, my long high quality charging cord, has begun to fail, and so if anyone would like to purchase a long high quality charging cord for the phone for the use, probably costs about $20. So you could send a $20 Streamlabs donation, and I use that directly for this this charging cord that we will need to continue our work and our online activities. So I'm putting the link in the chat for everybody. I'm going to purchase it. But there's also an opportunity here if someone would like to purchase it. And I'm opening that opportunity up now. You could even just give a little bit. You could even just give like $5 or $10, and that will go directly towards purchasing the charging cord. Anybody would like to do that?
Why are you dressed like a clown?
Aboriginal fabrics, like true Aboriginal fabrics from artisans in Aboriginal communities in Australia, create clown attire. Is that what you believe?
Whatever you you're covering, so acceptable.
talking about from the neck up. Welcome back to the channel, R1. He's banned. Yep, he's banned. Yeah, banned. There you go. Doing a community Discord call this Sunday.
You do not have a community, and no one will show up for a organized Discord call on your Dead as Doornails Discord server.
If both of us show up, then people will show up.
I won't be playing any random superficial games like that. My time is too valuable. And I don't have time. I don't schedule things. I don't have a schedule. I exist in freedom from time.
And would you be interested in doing a charity event this month? Raise money for charity exclusively. Not for your phone charger, but for charity.
Absolutely not.
You don't believe in raising money for charity?
We can raise the money and we can give it to Seattle. We can make a donation to Seattle if that's what you want to do. We're not going to raise money from our community and hand it up to some random nonprofit for CEOs and
He's a walking contradiction, and it's not something you can educate him on. He lacks the intelligence to even communicate too. So he doesn't believe in giving money to random charities, only to Buddhist monk that he knows. Nice. I'm thinking of doing
you want to give money to charity, donate money to charity. The same with this nonsense driving wheel that you raised money for. You want to buy a driving wheel? Go and buy the driving wheel. There's no need for you to raise money for charity from random people online to do that. You want to buy a driving wheel, a 400 Canadian dollar video game driving wheel, go and do that. It has nothing to do with this community. It has nothing to do with the content that you provide. You've already tested your gaming live streams. And you sat there for hours and hours and hours as literally nobody in your community showed up, to the point where you'll literally be live streaming to nobody with this delusional idea that you're going to get discovered or something. Discovered by who? Discovered for what? A guy playing a video game, a 30-year-old guy playing a video game that lives at his mother's house?
Yeah, thank you very much for your donations. And I am planning to raise money for the Isha Foundation for creating spiritual temples and creating conscious places. So I want to raise $1,000.
You're like a spiritual paraplegic.
I don't know what that means. But if I'm a spiritual paraplegic, then I don't know what you are, your current appearance, portrayal. Dr. Rob is a person that, and I've said this before many times, would literally shit in his hand, then smear feces on the wall, and he would say, look guys, this is my art. Don't bother me while I'm performing my art. Yeah, it's art, all right. Smearing feces on the wall is a kind of art. We want to let you do that.
And of course this we is Shiva's imagined like swamp people audience that has nothing to do with spirituality, nothing to do with sadhana, nothing to do with wanting to get enlightened. Just, there's drama, Rob's in the room. What are we going to do? I've seen the people that you interact with. You don't care about them. You don't know who they are. And there's no focus at all on actually doing real sadhana or developing a deeper understanding of the principles and practices, certainly not of Isha Foundation nor of the Buddha. So your whole thing is just a sham. And it's and also, of course, we're just jumping over the horse instead of sitting in the cart, because he's already fully expressed that his primary principle and intention is just to make money from people. So that's what he's doing. All of the spiritual stuff and, actually, that's just a game. That's just a game for him to justify his fake persona. He hasn't challenged me. He hasn't said, hey, wait a minute. He hasn't said, hey, wait a minute, Rob. Dr. Rob, you've gone a little bit too far there. I don't do this for money, man. I do this to help people. I do this to inform people. I do this to help make people's lives better. He hasn't said that a single time.
You keep saying, like this world, all you care about is making money. That's what a lot of people care about, is making money. And I'm not any different. But if what you're saying is true, some kind of a pretending grift just for making money, I'm using to be on the spiritual path since my early adulthood. I have no concern about how to gain an income from this. This is a genuine pursuit because of how valuable spirituality is. And now, at this point,
what are you talking about? Originally, right, it was a pursuit of delusion where you ended up believing that you were fully enlightened while not even being a stream enterer at that point, not even having attained insight at that point, right? And then as soon as you could, so like the next evolution of you is the ego guru, Shiva the ego guru, that was specifically in line with this delusion that you were going to become famous, that you were going to become a millionaire, that you were going to get tons of subscribers, that you were going to go viral. And that's exactly where I met you at 6 months ago with you and Adi Asaya sitting in a room together talking about how you're going to be famous and you're going to go viral for NoFap and all these different little random ideas. The funniest thing about Shiva is that he totally missed out on what he wanted. Because he went to this little group community that was going to let him be like a spiritual guy and a teacher guy where they're like scamming tons of... And this is Shiva's dream world. This is exactly what Shiva wants to be doing. And that's the worst part of it, is that the only reason he's with me is because of how self-destructive his behavior and his mindset is when he actually comes into real responsibility and real opportunities. They fucking kicked him out of there, said he was a weirdo, said that his energy was super bad. And now people that he brought there that weren't that connected to spirituality and weren't that connected to community or any idea about that are now making fucking moolah bucks, scamming a bunch of superficial, attractive ladies. They're definitely not virgins, but attractive ladies and wannabe spiritual guys. And they get to sit up front and pretend like they're spiritual. Totally fake community, totally fake people. to say that they're at a low level would be a disservice to levels. You'd have to spit on an escalator to say that they were at a low level. The totally shallow fake thing where the bigger scheme is like a real estate scam. It's a multi-level marketing scheme of like, this is how you become a multi-level marketing spiritual person, which is what Shiva's now trying to be. He could have been a leader in that group. He could have been the person who was sitting in front of like 150 people in a Zoom meeting, totally scamming them, totally doing what he's doing right now, but in a different way. He fucked it up. And now his friend Reese, that was literally Shiva's little follower, Shiva's little fanboy. Hey, Shiva, I always respect you. I'm a spiritual guy too. Watch out. Now his little buddy Reese is sitting in that fucking stage pretending to be enlightened or to be spiritually in tune and following some egomaniac scam artist, Viking guy. And Shiva, he fucked all that up. So now he's doing YouTube live streams on his phone and imagining himself that he's on the skywalk, he's on the low-level escalator to unfathomable material success because he fucked up what he actually wanted and was an opportunity for him to actually make some money and live well. I want to live well. I want to rip your fucking head off, you little narcissist. You little spiritual narcissist freak. Using Sadhguru's image, using the name of Isha Foundation, representing yourself like you have something to do with Mount Kailash or, selling walnut necklaces, grifting online. I want to rip your fucking beard off your head. And here's a funny thing. You want to know why he doesn't shave that beard and why he doesn't do anything interesting with his hair, with his beard? Because he watches videos of Sadhguru. And he thinks that in a few years or eventually, he's going to magically transform into this being of ultimate potency, and his big, thick, full, bushy Sadhguru beard is just going to be one of those things that you can't deny. All from his childhood bedroom. The dreams of Shiva Kailash Shambho. And it's true. It's really, really true because I know this guy very well. I know his whole outline and everything that he went through. It's ridiculous, And then he's like looking to the swamp people. I am the swamp master. Don't forget it. I'm not like Dr. Rob. I'm peaceful and serene. I'm the swamp king. It's like you don't know anybody in your community. Nobody in your community actually knows you. They don't know each other. They don't give a fuck. You don't offer any challenging points or positions on how to go further on the path or what enlightenment is. It's a joke. It's a game. It's fake. And you know it is. So you have to keep disassociating and delusionalizing yourself and what you're doing to make it true. But that's not sadhana and that's not practice. See if you can become a volunteer at Isha. Maybe take the next level of initiation in Isha. You have the bare, something that millions of people have, that is totally standard entry initiation, something you can take online. Use that fucking money to sign up for some classes in America, or I'm sure in Canada they're doing them too. If you believe in that stuff, then go through that process. That's what Isha told you to do when you tried to visit there and they told you you're not allowed to come and stay here. Right? So it is what it is, man. And you need to take accountability and responsibility for that. You need to accept that. And change. Change. The swamp people. Give a speech. Give a message to the swamp people, Shiva. Show them that you are the true swamp leader. That you're not like Dr. Rob. You're a 30-year-old man that lives at home with his mother, that's never held down a job, that's never driven a car, that's never had an apartment, never paid for a place where you live, that's standing for the right side of YouTube live streams, the reasonable side of 30-year-old manhood. Come on, swamp man. Let's hear it. Give us the business. Help them disassociate into a platitude and a vague notion that positions you as the moral leader of swampland. I'm 30 years old, yeah. I live at my home with my mother, yeah. Never held down a job. Never even driven a car. And no, I've never had my own place to live. I'm living in my childhood bedroom. Anyways, I'm not like that Rob guy. I'm a serious guy, I'm meditative, and I don't react. Everything that this Rob guy said is nonsense. You know it and I know it. Heck, I can't even remember half the things he said. So let's move on. What are we moving on to, Shiva? What are we moving on to, Shiva? And that's exactly who you're talking to. Anybody here. If anybody here has $2 to spare, I'd really appreciate it. I want to get a racing wheel for my room. Well, there you go.
I've just donated some points. If I have to pay to tell Rob to shut up again, rooster emoji, lollipop emoji. But Max Enlightened donated $2. Be the king of the neats.
Thank you so much, Max Enlightened. And if you want to see what true sadhana is and looks like, all you have to do is take a look at Dr. Rob's body. That's what true sadhana is. I have no idea what he said. The only thing that's worthwhile to comment on is that, yes, I don't react. And for some reason, he says it in a way that's negative. Because he reacts constantly. He's a reactive man. A reactive man can't be trusted. He's an emotionally volatile man and just not somebody that you want to rely on. And when you meditate and you grow on the spiritual path, you develop the ability to not react to stimuli, emotions, actions, words. So I'm demonstrating more spiritual prowess than he could ever in his whole life. And, to call him a fan would be an understatement. He literally has a cutout picture of me. It's in his room. It's in his house. So I appreciate him as my student. I wish you would follow along a bit nicer. But you can't choose your students as a teacher. You take people that want to learn from you as they are. And
A Spunky Guru donated $1.99. Dr. Robbie equals D-bag.
that's a nice name, Spunky Gooner. Thank you. Thank you for your donation. So, I appreciate this, man. I really do. Sacred Solitude says, Shiva is responsive, not reactive. That's right. This is what you can learn from me by observing our dynamic. It's not just one man raging and another man being silent. I'm observing my thoughts, my emotions, my sensations. And how many men do you think you know that can get on a live stream and have somebody make up stories and say things about them in an inflammatory way, publicly, and they wouldn't try to react and defend themselves out of their own frustration? Oh no, don't you know that I'm like this? Sometimes I do that as well. But that's not the norm. That's not the common understanding. And fundamentally, why is this and how is this the way? How is this the way it is? Is because I realize that there is nothing of value here. Not just in terms of what he's saying. There's nothing of value ever, what he's saying. But in terms of me, and my mind, my ego, my personality, it's as much as compost. I'm not putting myself down or degrading myself. This is you are like this as well. But you're looking at compost and saying this is a valuable gem. No, you don't know who you are, where you are, or what you're doing. Somebody threatens your identity. You're so attached to it, you have to fight back or defend yourself or react. Dr. Rob is doing that. I'm not here to react. Dr. Rob streams on YouTube, and I stream into Dr. Rob's head. Dr. Rob plays my live streams in his head 24 hours of the day. Make sure you keep that cutout very safe. Make sure you have it for many years. It's going to be very valuable for you once I get famous.
I thought I had it all together, but I was different. You were the clock, trying to stick into my heart. Change my feet. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Where Sheila?
My bad, my bad. So this is what Dr. Rob's brain looks like. That's what I said. That's inside of his head. And people in high school call him peanut brain. Also, abilities. And he can talk for a long time. He can talk and make things up. Hello, Tom, how are you?
I'm fine.
How is the weather in Vietnam?
Oh, not so raining. So many raining.
In the rainy season.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you come in Vietnam, Dr. Rob, talk, you come. When you come. Hey.
I don't know. Maybe winter time.
Oh, good.
But we have to go to vacation and swim.
Oh, beach.
Swim in the ocean.
Oh. Before we go to ocean, so very nice ocean. You can come and you can go. Right after all. Go ocean. We see about want to come and go ocean, honey. Lâu rồi đó. You are why?
Dr. Rob is what you would call an ultra fan. He's a super fan. I appreciate it. He's the first man to have a cutout of me. A picture of his wall. Beautiful.
You Dr. Rob fighting? Hmm?
Welcome, Acadian Stagger. Welcome. Where's my gold and silver?
Oh, you eat dinner?
What?
Are you eat dinner?
I'm eating peanuts.
Oh. Yeah.
Dr. Rob can't disrespect me. And here he is, presenting himself, dressing in a way he would never dress in public. Of course, he has nothing to do with a turban. But he's just grifting him. Make some sort of appearance. Some have said you have multiple personality disorder.
Okay, so I was expecting to have received a lot more donations coming back to this live stream after being away. That expectation has proven to be false, but we still have a community space. We still have an opportunity to share with one another, communicate with one another, hopefully deeply and meaningfully. And that's why I'm here, to do exactly that.
Yeah. So, if you had it your way, what would you like to create?
Well, it has to do
What do you
with
want
your
to do with
mother,
our
and I
Buddhist
think you're a bit
community?
sensitive about her. I wouldn't be able to create what I would like to create without your mother being involved.
At Weston Campbell, $1,268.82. Please introduce this Pakistani he or she thanks. And Max Enlightened donated $2. Him trying to donate to Rob, but him banned.
That's his technique of creating community. He's banning 400 people a month. So what would you like to create with my mother?
A child. A new brother. A better version of Shiva. Your mother has DNA that's suitable for my community, for my mindset. So I'd like to have a... Well, she could be a donor. Could do it all medically. She just has to carry the child.
Okay. Anyways, I'd like to have a talk with your mother and see your mother on the live stream.
Would you? Would you like that?
Yes.
All right, I'll make a note of that.
But okay. We know where the term trailer park swamp people came from, you know. Anyways. Is it true that since I came into your life, your quality of life has improved massively?
Absolutely not. Not in the slightest. It's so funny you asked that question, actually. It's really, really funny that you asked that question. Because actually, what I was thinking about, this stuff happens more and more to me, but what I was